Since 1992, Arne Duncan has been an integral part of the education scene in Chicago, the third largest city in the United States of America. Prior to joining the public schools, Arne directed the Area Education Initiative, established by John Rogers, founder and head of Area Capital, one of the nation's most successful businessmen. In 1998, Arne joined the Chicago school system, and in 2001, he was appointed CEO.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to testify today on behalf of the Chicago Public Schools. Let me also thank my good friend, Representative Danny Davis, for his long-standing commitment to public education, all of his hard work on our behalf. Thank you so much. I would further like to thank committee members Judy Biggert and Phil Hare for their bipartisan support and good common sense approaches to education policy. Their work in this committee and devotion to promoting high standards, quality teachers, and viable school options has been a great benefit to me in Chicago. Our Chicago public schools serve over 400,000 children. 85% of our children live below the poverty line, and 90% come from the minority community. All of them have potential. Tapping the great potential of underprivileged inner-city children represents the greatest educational challenge and opportunity facing our country. In many ways, we are meeting this challenge, but we still have a long way to go, and we must be relentless in challenging the status quo and courageous in staying the course. In Chicago, virtually every important indicator of progress is moving in the right direction. Test scores, attendance rates, and graduation rates. We're lucky enough to be on a winning streak. In 2001, less than 40% of our children met state standards. Today, almost two-thirds do, and more than two-thirds of our 8th graders are at or above state standards. Over the last 5 years, our high school students have improved at twice the rate of the state of Illinois and 3 times the rate of the country on the ACT test that helps to determine college admissions. More and more of our high school students are taking college-level classes, and more of them are doing well enough to receive college credit. On the national test comparing Chicago to other cities, the NAEP that others have talked about, we've gone up 11 points since 2002, while the nation has gone up 3. So we are working hard to close the achievement gap. Hispanic students, who represent over a third of our population, scored the highest of any other big city school district in the country. And so gains are being made among key subgroups as well. We began tracking college acceptance rates 3 years ago, and those numbers have risen every year. Today, over half our graduates go to college. And one of the numbers I'm most proud of is this last year's seniors graduating class won over $84 million in competitive grants and scholarships beyond the normal financial aid. And we're hoping the class that just graduated, we're hoping that number will be over $100 million. This progress can be attributed to a few simple strategies that we have relentlessly pursued since the City of Chicago, under the leadership of Mayor Daley, assumed full control of the school system in 1995. I want to talk through 5 sort of core strategies that shaped our work. The first thing we did was to end social promotions, which is the shameless practice of passing children each year even though they are not ready, and ultimately graduating them without the skills they need to succeed. Before the accountability and intervention measures of No Child Left Behind, Chicago took the initiative to hold students accountable to annual state assessments, identify students in the most chronically failing schools, and to provide intervention services, including mandatory summer school, after-school programs, and alternative schools with smaller class sizes and extended day programs. We got back to basics with our curriculum. We put great emphasis on literacy and placed hundreds of reading coaches into schools and created a daily requirement of 2 hours of reading every single day, every school, every grade, every child. We have since expanded this approach to math and physical science, and we're now looking at the social sciences. Third, we began opening a great new array of innovative schools through our Renaissance 2010 initiative. This fall, we will have about 75 charter schools operating amongst our 625 schools in Chicago. We have many, many different approaches to education. Some are single-sex schools. We have many military academies. We want to open some residential schools in Chicago. Almost all of these new schools and charter schools are succeeding, and they all have waiting lists of parents eager to enroll their children in our system. I see myself as a portfolio manager. We need to continue to create more of what folks are looking for, and we must continue to meet that demand that parents are asking for in terms of quality. More recently, we've become even more aggressive about opening new schools. We have 35 new schools opening this fall, but also closing down schools that are failing. We are one of the few districts in the country that have literally shut down underperforming schools and replaced the entire school staff. This turnaround school strategy has taken some of our lowest performing schools and within just a couple of years doubled or tripled student performance. Same children, same families, same socioeconomic challenges, same neighborhood, same school building, but different teachers, new leadership, and a new educational approach, and the results are dramatic. And as Chancellor Klein said, it puts the lie into any myths of what poor children can or cannot do. This is the kind of bold reform that simply would not be possible without the extraordinary support of Mayor Daley and other local elected officials. This is tough work. Superintendents across the country would love to have Chicago's governance structure because the buck stops with the mayor, and he stands with us in challenging the status quo, pushing the envelope, and driving change. The fourth thing we have tried to do is to dramatically expand learning opportunities by investing heavily in preschool, after school, Saturday school, and summer school. The outmoded notion that schools should only operate 6 days a week and 180 days per year makes no sense for any of our children, whether they come from two-parent working families, whether they come from single moms who are sometimes working 1, 2, even 3 jobs trying to make a living, or whether it's our 9,000 children who are homeless. All of our children need to be worked with as many hours as possible, and in an ideal world, every one of our children should be constructively engaged from birth to age 18 for as many hours as possible. Finally, our fifth and last major strategy involves raising the quality of principals and teachers, and this effort includes several important dimensions. As you've heard repeatedly this morning, in our world, talent matters tremendously, and nothing is more important than getting the best and brightest adults working with our children every single day. We have boosted the standards for principal selection and actually cut in half the number of people eligible to become principals. And we've challenged a new generation of school leaders to meet these higher standards. This past fall, we hired 171 new principals, creating a new generation of leadership in more than a quarter of our schools.